Yet another example of woke on woke crime, but this one has a little bit of a twist. It's almost one of those situations where you feel bad for the party getting crapped on because the one who's being the more aggressive party is potentially an even bigger nutcase, but they're kind of better at their job. So see, this is a total bungled mess because you have Adam Sessler, who, former XPlay host. He was a part of the rebooted G4, noted TDS sufferer. If it wasn't for Sam Harris, arguably the most afflicted Trump-hating nut job in the world. When he can put his politics and his own mental health issues aside, Sessler's a pretty competent game reviewer. Like, when it comes to one of the more establishment talking heads, or at least legacy game reviewers, I'd put him up there. He's pretty damn good, okay? If you don't believe me, I can't remember if Revision 3 still has their YouTube channel at least open or something like that, but this was way back in the day. Like, we're going back, the midlife cycle of like the PS3, Xbox 360. During that point in time, he was pretty good when he was independent. I didn't watch a lot of the G4 stuff. I seen a bunch of the, after the ex post facto coverage, because up in Canada we didn't get G4 or anything like that, so you heard inklings of it. And that was back when gaming was cool and edgy and still out on the fringes and not trying to appeal to everybody. But long story short, I like Sessler. I don't like Mercante. I like Sessler's abilities, not who he is. See, this is just getting totally messy, okay? Everybody a part of this is just, it's pigs throwing crap at each other. So at one point it's like, oh man, look at that one little piglet. She can't really help herself because she's completely and totally buried. But this is also bed of your own making, and I've seen what you like to do in beds before, you little trifling Jezebel, so you kind of deserve what you're getting. So, former XPlay host Adam Sessler unloads on controversial ex-Kotaku editor Alyssa Mercante on social media an epic takedown before going back to attacking gamers again. Yeah, I like what I see here, but I'm not endorsing anybody involved. This is just it's one of those classic examples of let them fight. Adam Sessler attacked former Kotaku senior editor, Alyssa Mercante on social media, in a move many were quick to call a redemption arc for the controversial former G4 host. No. You could see this coming from a mile away, and you could properly assess this as a Bernie bro going against a turf, okay? It's something analogous to that. And it's like, nah, man, just have a laugh as they just trying to throw slaps at each other, but outside of that, don't be endorsing anybody. However, as soon as it went right back to his favorite pastime, insulting, demeaning, and lambasting gamers, okay? Adam Sessler, former co-host of XPlay on G4, has long been a polarizing figure in the gaming world. Once celebrated as a leading voice in games journalism, Sessler's recent public outbursts for the better part of a decade, right? And divisive opinions left his reputation in tatters because, after he left G4 in a bit of a huff, he kind of had a public meltdown. And it wasn't until, hopping up on Rev 3 where he re-ingratiated himself to his audience, where he had a moment of introspection, I was focusing on too many of the tertiary things and less on the gaming, and now that I'm free to do whatever I want, I can focus and make the game reviews as long as I want. I can do, what's it, corporate money over there? Okay, I'm gonna go over there. And then he ended up leaving Rev 3 high and dry, and then eventually it just all kind of withered and fell apart. Anyways, in a surprising twist, Sessler turned his ire on another vocal critic of the gaming community, attacking former Kotaku journalist Alyssa Mercante in an epic social media takedown. The drama unfolded on Blue Sky, of course, where Sessler joined a discussion about the decline of gaming journalism. It all started with a post from a Bloodborne enthusiast named Rick, who lamented the fall of Kotaku. Yeah, but why though? That joystick clown from last night had me thinking of the rise and fall of the once beloved game blogs, and Kotaku absolutely takes the all-time cake as lamentable failure. Up through the Totillo era, it was actually a badge of honor for a studio to have a puff piece written about them there. Sessler responded and with a pointed critique of Kotaku's decline. My God, yes. It was where the conversation for the day started, and they would drive me nuts frequently with their takes, but they were for real and not the sinking sight of shit that supposition had decayed into. There we go. From there, the discussion turned to Mercante, a figure mired in controversy from her Kotaku tenure and beyond. Mercante was once the outlet's senior editor before having her contract bought out by her employer at the end of last year. But I didn't get fired, I quit. One user, Daryl Best, pulled no punches when describing Mercante. Well, look at that bitch, Alyssa Merchant. Wait a minute. I don't think she pulled up the early life. But the publication Put the publication through by supporting anti-Semitic morons on Twitch and the whole S show over there. Sessler admitted he is initially unfamiliar with Mercante, but dove headfirst into her contentious history. As Daryl elaborated on Mercante's controversy, ranging from alleged anti-Semitic behavior to internal strife at Kotaku, Sessler's response became even more incendiary. Doing some digging myself and good God, how long did they let her fly her National Socialist colors? Oh, and see, so cute. It's so cute when they fight and they backbite their own. F the gaming press 5 times more than they already should have been effed. Mercante didn't directly respond to Sessler. Instead, she responded yes to YouTube personality Vera Dark, who shared screenshots of Sessler's takedown. Yeah, this is what I have pulled up right here. If this excites you so much, okay, this is, Mercante getting absolutely roasted and Vardark presenting, the screenshot, Sessler going after Mercante is so damn funny. They're both lunatics. Exactly, the left eating the left is a glorious thing to watch happen. And then Mercante responds, if this excites you so much, I truly think you need to go for a nice brisk walk and look up at the clouds. Look up in directions where your career is not going. And Vara, promptly responds, lol. One of those rare instances where Alyssa's not blocking Vara. She wants to get relevance because, the view counts aren't really popping for this head case. Fleeting moment, it seemed like Sessler was aligning with the frustrations of gamers fed up with modern gaming journalism. Not really, he was only pushing his own specific purview, and he hates gamers more than he hates, I guess, anybody stepping on his title as most insufferable former games journo. Okay, his unfiltered critique of Mercante and Kotaku struck a chord with many prominent voices, many suggesting that one of the most polarizing figures in gaming might have rediscovered a semblance of reason. No, okay, but that moment didn't last. You go big shock on that one. Shortly after his takedown of Mercante, Sessler turned his sights back on the gaming community, and it wasn't pretty. In a follow-up post, Sessler dismissed the gaming altogether in a scathing rant. Big shock on that one. Gaming is a stupid medium filled with annoying effers convinced of their genius, he said on Blue Sky. And I miss it like I miss dysentery. Oh. He didn't stop there. Sessler launched into a full-throated tirade against the industry and its fans. 95% of gaming fans, gaming press, and the devs are miserable narcissists, grifters, and intellectual midgets regardless of their political affiliation. He wrote this while staring into a mirror. Okay, he said, going as far to repost the reply on his main Blue Sky account to make it more visible. Rather than building goodwill with the gaming community, Sessler's return to antagonizing gamers shows why his public persona has become so divisive. Yeah, that's one. Now, while his critique of Alyssa Mercante resonated with those disillusioned by the state of gaming journalism, his subsequent comments revealed the deep contempt he still harbors for the medium and his audience. I mean, this is also the same guy that announced, oh god, this is going back a few years, that if he found out that any of his family members were dying of cancer, but if they were Trump supporters, he would pop a cork on a bottle of champagne and toast to their demise. Like, he's a totally cooked individual. Like I said, he's pretty decent when it comes to reviewing games and offering insight there, okay? I can go ahead and I can separate the art from the artist, if you will. Or in his case, the Austrian painter from the painting, because he's definitely more than willing to enact certain violence on certain groups of people. But no, the other people are the bad guys, not the ones on his side of the aisle. Can't be, okay? Despite a brief glimmer of alignment with gamers' frustrations, his unrelenting disdain for the community ensures that any potential redemption arc remains firmly out of reach. Yeah, who was actually thinking that was the case, okay? Outside of just simply going, aha, Mercante is getting roasted by somebody else. Aha, she continues to get the attention of anybody that isn't more of a lol cow than her, and somehow they, at least momentarily, end up appearing more sensible than her, only to dive down in the sewers after you and cover themselves in the shit better than you possibly could. It's such a strange and insane situation, but it always points back to why games journalism, okay, why the establishment outlets, the Kotakus, IGNs, GameSpots, going back to the already closed up spots, the one-ups, game trailers, why all of them are failing, and independent voices simply wanting to play and enjoy good games are thriving, while the other ones are just seething. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.